Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing tonight? It's another day in paradise, another night in which to excel. Welcome to First Friday's North Beach and the poetry section, led by our amazing poet leader, Jessica here. Let's give her a hand. This is Macchiarini Creative Design. It's the oldest ongoing metal arts production studio and gallery for modernist design in the United States. Opened by my father in 1948. We're in our 74th year. We will have one hell of a party next year, and you're all invited to it. We have classes going on in here right now. We're going to sign, if you want to learn metal arts, you can sign up online at Metalworks SF right now for the summer session. And we welcome everyone, all ages. We don't even discriminate against children. If we've had some kids in here signed off by their parents, and they've done amazing work. So anyone you know that wants to take metal arts, come and sign up, Metalworks SF. But in the meantime, we're also, as part of a board member of the North Beach Business Association, I want to tell you guys a special announcement. We are bringing back the North Beach Festival, and it will be restored. It'll be the 66th annual North Beach Festival, and it's going to be the 18th and 19th of June. And so we're going to again take over all the streets in North Beach, and we're going to have one heck of a party, and you're all invited. I don't know if you guys know, we just did the Noodle Fest. We're going to continue to do that to show our unity with our brothers and sisters in Chinatown and our connection as North Beach and Chinatown and our relationship with them. So anyway, you guys enjoy the poetry.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming this evening to North Beach First Friday Poetry. Thank you, Macchiarini Gallery, for hosting the event, and to the North Beach Business Association for helping to make First Fridays possible. So to start out this evening, I'm going to read a poem by Nancy Morihon. Some of you might have heard me mention her this weekend at Tony Ryan's memorial because he never mentioned Nancy Morihon. It's kind of a joke. But anyhow, Barbara Paschke is the translator of this poem, so she's going to read it first in Spanish, and then I will read it in English. Please welcome Barbara Paschke.
Yeah, really. Okay, Nancy Morihon, obrera del tabaco. Una obrera del tabaco escribió un poema a la muerte. Entre el humo y las hojas torcidas y secas de la vega, dijo ver el mundo en Cuba. Era el año 1999. En su poema, dijo tocar las flores formadoras de una mágica alfombra que circunvolaba la Plaza de la Revolución. En su poema, esa obrera palpó los días del mañana. En su poema, amigos, no había Miami ni reclamaciones, no había mendicidad, no había ruindades ni violaciones de la ley laboral. No había interés por la bolsa, no había lucro. En su poema había astucia militante, lánguida inteligencia. En su poema había disciplina y asambleas. En su poema había sangre hirviendo del pasado. En su poema había hígado y corazones. Su poema era un tratado de economía popular. En su poema estaban todos los deseos y toda la ansiedad de un revolucionario contemporáneo suyo. Una obrera del tabaco escribió un poema a la agonía del capitalismo. Sí, señor. pero ni sus hermanos ni sus vecinos adivinaron la esencia de su vida y nunca supieron del poema. Ella lo había guardado, tenaz, y finalmente, junto a unas hojas del caña santa y cáñamo, dentro de un libro empastado de José Martí.
Thank you, Barbara Paschke. And I did forget to mention that kind of the loose theme of this month's reading in North Beach First Friday is International Workers. So that is why I chose this poem by Nancy Morihon. It's called Tobacco Worker. Tobacco Worker. A tobacco worker wrote a poem on death. Between the smoke and the crooked dry leaves of the valley, she said she saw the world in Cuba. It was the year 1999. In her poem, she spoke of touching the flowers that formed a magic carpet circling the Plaza de la Revolucion. In her poem, this worker appreciated the days of tomorrow. In her poem, Friends, there was no Miami nor reclamation. There was no lying. There was no meanness, no violations of labor law. There was no interest in the stock exchange. There was no profits. In her poem, there was militant cleverness, languid intelligence. In her poem, there was discipline and reunion. In her poem, there was blood boiling from the past. In her poem, there was liver and heart. Her poem was a treatise on the people's economy. In her poem were all the wishes and all the worries of a revolutionary contemporary of hers. A tobacco worker wrote a poem to the death of capitalism. Yes, sir, but neither her siblings nor her neighbors guessed the essence of her life, and they never knew about the poem. She'd guarded it, tenacious and shrewdly, next to leaves of blessed cane and cannabis, within a cloth-bound look of Jose Marti. Anyhow, next, please welcome Michael Bird. And I promised, because he's the brother of Scott Bird and another musician I've had in the series, David Bird. And I promised I wouldn't make any Bird family jokes. So I'll just say, let's fly away with Michael Bird.
Hey everyone. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everybody. In spirit of international workers, I like to consider myself to be a working poet, and some would find that an oxymoron, but I find it to be redundant. So, if you, many of you knew Jack Hirschman. If you knew Jack, you knew he was constantly writing poetry. And if you asked Jack what he was doing, he would say, "Oh, just working away." So from pen and paper to pick and shovel, thank you to all workers. All the following is no more than the humble mumblings of a bumbling do-gooder. This is foreword, or the poet's note. If deluded state of consciousness does not appear to be dysfunctioning diligently, you'll find no findings to be found for your favored time figuring out the following fool's work. Might I suggest suckling upon serious sativa to surrender the senses and search the suggested sections for solution to said sayings? Such spells sell and tell stories normies couldn't foresee. Said information can only be dispelled whilst under some pillagry of politically incorrect ponderings. Hope that the bird's whispers upon your audio receptors will be reached in one aspect or the other. Perhaps we poets really are discovering our marbles and portray poorly the purest plethora of priceless information, but I doubt it. This is extensive existence, number 2. When dreaming, visions of existence floods the brain, not just this one life, but the extent of all existence. dimensions of time and space for which waking consciousness found soul bound inside another shell, chained to mortality, until listening to the song of the birds of life whistling away the answer to the wind, sending the message to all creatures, including humans. There are few who listen, fewer who whistle back. Many shield their ears in annoyance. Some seek to suppress it. None have succeeded. The ones who solve the riddle can spread the word in mortal verse. Reuniting with the calling of birds is a destiny every human shares. One day we will be our final sunset, and on the rising of the sun's early tide, there will be one more bird ushering the wind. Of the days warm breath is drawn, make most of the moons. To be is to walk among the gods, and to live is to bask in a churning pool of divinity. Freedom to interact with fellow fibers of reality, weaving a forever tapestry of light. Decisions make rippling big bangs, sending into motion absolute parallelity of existence in coordination with life found living in the present, reading this poem. Think back to the faraway shores of the mind, to the forgotten voyages, valuable lessons learned in the grand scheme, festivities of the time, joyous sunsets and pronounced first light, the wonder of happiness. To live one life is a happy chance, to live many is the game. Learn from each, that is the key to all. Treasure the hunt for cerebral rich. Make no mistake, with choice comes wrong decisions. Wrong decisions beckon consequences. Not burning in hell, you see, but to burn off the bad branches that weaken the tree. To endure for the sake of balance. Feel the sun upon the face and love it. Feed off the breath of plants and trees alone. Find appreciation for the bugs on the leaf, for the mushrooms feasting on decay, for the lichen tickling the stone, for the lives and lessons learned. Allow for ascension to the vast answer of listening intently to the sweet of birdsong and recognizing the songs sung of old. This is Poet's Block. Empty words take the form of a dull axe, sinking into rotting wood of stagnant ideas. No crack or thud of inspiration, sunk into silent memory matter, muffled sparks of rhythm, termite tattered flaking structure, idiom bark stripped from the trunk. Rain silences hope, washing away fresh material, trickling vernacular running down the gutter. Clouds cover the ambient waxing moon bright. Discarded puddles of liquid mindless drip dropping along diluting focus. Gears grind behind the eyes, searching for articulated color production. Someone forgot to do the daily audit and caused a mechanical difficulty in creativity. Cognizance kill switch triggered caused a system reset. Not a damn thing to do but write a report. This is Dancing Smoke. Bright-eyed oak tree sits beside me, foliage long and dark, inhaling incantations, exhaling dancing apparitions. To the light above they fly, whirling, twirling, prancing sigh, through the still and cool air, singing along with the music in the sky. Bright-eyed oak was I, planted across the wooden table, music muttered most amusingly, synchronizing phantoms in the light. Exhaling white wraith of green, dancing chants join the flight, dances that differ in shape and size all together bewilder eyes. My gaze passes to you now, O brother, oak of red. Along hurrying tributaries behind the brow, liquid poetry fills the head. This is Tough Guy. Rise up and read a poem. Listen to the wind if you are so bold. Carry gold hope on airstream wings. Spit verse quaking cerebral walls sounding alarm bells. Color siege crackling ignorant borders gray. Rattle mortal shell raw ringing sun song. Regardless of shadows clouding free thought muffling foresight. Allow flowering ears to receive poetic bright. Oak seers do not vainly wiggle cosmic tongue. Stories told hold hilt wielding history. Blueprint lessons archived in archaic code bring counsel to modern carven stone. Battered down gates of comfortability barricade, unvarying fishbowl-brained minds fail to hold back the flood of unshackled thought, eroding conformity of tradition and closed doors, exposing fresh cognizant layers, ponder something more. Open perception secretes new extent of contemplation. Clouds parting withdraw the shade of ridicule. Appreciative ears now receive a poem's humble bow. Good for me. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Once again, Michael Bird. And it's amazing, David, who does such a tremendously wonderful job with the sound here every month, completely reliable and a pleasure to work with, but he has finally started adjusting the microphone for me when I get up to talk. But anyhow, thank you, David, always. Next, I would like to introduce Sarah Menefee.
I'm not a worker anymore. I'm retired. First, a commercial break. This is the interim flyer, if you haven't gotten one yet. May 28th, the last Saturday of the month at the Black and Brown Social Club on Valencia near 16th. We have Neely Cherkovski and Tureeda Mikell, who are going to be reading after me, there, and from 4 to 6, so please get one of these. Okay, I want to read a couple of poems of Jack Hirschman's from this book, and then I'll read a few of my own. Let's see, what do we have? A couple of his shorter ones. You know, he's written such amazing arcanes, and the fourth, thank you. Oh, could you hold on to those? Bless you. The 4,000-page volume came out right after he passed away. I think Aggie has some, but this is one of his. This is called Chinatown by Jack Hirschman. Two Chinese women squatting on the sidewalk having a confab. Manioc stems like wooden puppets. Blue-clawed crabs in paper bags. Persimmon suns in a stall. This is called May Day. Do you remember when we went over and under as we went around the maypole tree and braided it all in colorful ribbons and sang songs and read poetry? How young and innocent we were. We never said fuck on the trolley. The only thing we burned was Hitler, Tojo, and Mussolini grasshoppers. Under the maypole tree, oh yes, it was May Day, and we braided it all up good. How English we were in those days, really. With all that, my country, 'tis of thee. When did it go away, I wonder, and leave this skinny old stick with faded ribbons round it, worth not much more than 65 cents, I bet. Jack Hirschman, presente. Presente. So, I just read a few little things that might be appropriate for the day. Who would believe it's May? Yes. I've written so many poems with the word wind in it, I can't, if I had a nickel, you know? Wind. Okay. More wind and less rain, I guess. Okay, Mother of all. Mother of all, girl of all, in her bright pink socks, her hank gray, her push of load, she goes up Van Ness Avenue across, pushing her load of age and works. Because women are poor, her labor at the scavenge camp are poor. Someone was sleeping in her socks white with gray soles of pavement grit. She was in the thin sun's doorway, this side of it, in her vulnerable socks. A flat black sock was abandoned in this great chaos of going. What walks on 3 legs in the evening asked the Sphinx. Didn't see the wheeled thing pulled behind her, going down in the west. Let's see. Room. You were two long white buds when I picked you up, tossed down on Market Street. White lilies blooming gloriously with your spray of rust-red stamens perfuming my room. If you've ever seen the Milky Way arch across the desert sky, you understand. The seller of stargazer lilies pushes his cart through the winter rain. Are there a couple of pages in that sack? No, in the sack? Oh, I'm done. Okay. I'm very well organized. Okay. All right. I guess. Here we go. This is a bit older poem. You all knew Bob Kaufman, or you know his poetry. He still walks these streets. Song for Bob K. Is my bop and rebop, and I see Bob Kaufman come out of the fog of Chinatown, where he shared the neck bones of lambs with us in those greasy spoons, and Cab Calloway and the junker going down to score the dust of the tears of stars smoked up like perfect creation here downtown, and Howard Hart's acneed sun weeping its resins down and down. Where is my gold Cadillac with diamond wheels, which swung so low for you? I was on a train last night just pulling into Reno. Bob K. was there too. He resembled the torn down man under the torn down L on 3rd Avenue. Sardine of gold in its perfect oil. Oh, where are my lilac clouds with their golden furs, the all-night drinkers found when they stumbled out at dawn? Oh, there you are. Thank you. Okay. I wrote this poem on the bus coming home from the memorial for Tony Ryan at Specs the other night. Tony Ryan, the veil is thin, though it's May Day and new life labors with burgeoning. We've gathered remembering you who became so thin down to a slender drink of spiritus. With the hard days of dedication, we're all ground down. And the Internationale was played in your dear memory, you happier in Cuba, where you were always a comrade, and who wouldn't be? I hear Jack's basso notes leading the song, piano and saxophone, whenever there's that song, and you are there picking up our empties, your humble greatness, and your strong voice of conviction to the end. I guess you're hanging out in some equally funky, heavenly equation of specs that might also have the great hands as black as obsidian of those partisans on their wall. Paradise is surely a worker's bar, because certain things must echo in every realm, saying, no pasaran. And there's Nelson Peary, you, and dear Earth's mutual comrade, all of ours in one spirit, whatever the disagreements, I surely can't remember any. Comrade, Tony Ryan, no more pain but passion, and passion forever. Presente, presente, presente. And all the comrades we've lost and that are still among us. Ruach. Now I understand what this windy, windy year did portend. Ruach, ruach, oh Jack. Great soul, great song, you Internationale. Then comes the rain and the tears. Okay. Where is the starry firmament when you die? Can you tell me, Maynard? Can you tell me, Jack? I can hear the stars shouting for joy in the company of your great hearts. There's nowhere for love to go but here. Thank you. And this poem is for my young roommate, Khalif. He has amazing dreams. I have really boring dreams anymore. I used to have good ones when I was young. Oh, I have a few good ones, but he has amazing dreams. He tells me, so I steal them from my poem. He's a very passionate animal rights advocate. It turned me into a vegan. It's okay. I don't mind. This is called The Chicken for Khalif. In the night, you broke into the house of shades and freed the poor, hopeless chicken trapped inside. It flew out the window you shattered. Then you ran and ran into the life you had saved from the slaughter of every innocence. In fact, he and his young girlfriend that lived with me, they rescued a baby mouse this morning while I was still asleep. They got it in a little box wrapped in a sock. It's so cute.
Okay, last one.
Yeah, this is it. Okay. It's May Day. It's May Day, but you're no longer a worker. Neither is he with his blown out knees, his frazzled constant scavenge. No longer is she, but she has to work the streets day and night to stay alive. I am poor too, but not nearly as poor as that, not yet. And May Day is ours, here in our exile, here within our laboring bodies. May they break into lilacs. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Sarah Menefee. Apparently, I am not a worker either, according to the member of the Peanut Gallery who has now left the area. Anyhow, Sarah Menefee is a poet that we celebrated at the Quate Tower Poetry Club last month, I think it was. And the next poet that I'm introducing, we also celebrated at the Quate Tower Poetry Club. The month before, we celebrated Sarah, and that is Neely Cherkovsky.
Wow. So, it's nice to be celebrated. That was a great night, even though I froze my ass off, you know. So, the first poem I'm going to read, it's not in order. I wrote just around the corner from where we are right now, about 80 steps, at Harwood Alley, it was called. Now it's Bob Kaufman Alley. And I wrote this in 1978. And it's sort of self-explanatory. So it's 40-some years old. And the laundromat was here. And I think I swear my laundry was going while I wrote this poem on an old Underwood typewriter. While these windows fall, I will silently build a forest in the grass of Washington Square, where tonight we wandered arm in arm, worried about splendor and what it means to sleep in the same bed. Please forgive the branches that grow out of my dreams and snap you late at night as I curve my body to the confusion of shadows falling out of you. These windows beckon to doom in the hollow of a mother's anger, in the dreadnought of vision, and then slam shut when you turn from me, facing that which I fear, the slender, smooth hips of a woman I will never be. The spider. So my sister had a spider 20 years ago in her house in LA. Big, giant house in Hancock Park. There's a little spider on the kitchen railing, and it was there for a long time, and she fed it, and she said it was my friend. That was great. She had cats and that spider. Have you not seen the silent, shrouded spider crawling down your neck? Be patient with the knowledge. Do not assume the worst. You may find the spider amenable to your wishes. It is a noiseless, patient spider from the 19th century. Walt Whitman wrote of this amazing performer, and that is what he is, because you see, he sports a stovepipe hat and hawthorn walking stick. Have you come to appreciate animated light of reason? Do you not see ceremony and interconnection between the spider and ourselves? Man is not suited for himself alone. He must give the spider room. He has to hang John Brown for insurrection and then feed him to the savage birds and hold a civil war for good measure. Say, spider, spider, by the good gray poet's beard, spin a web once you have set up household on a railing over the kitchen sink. May we weaponize the love we cherish, so man and spider may forever align. Many years ago, Bukowski read a poem to me, and we were drinking, and he said, "The caterpillar speaks my name. He knows me. He does." And I just went crazy over that. I don't know why. It was just wonderful, especially from a guy like that, you know. Caterpillar, are you not the sun? Is your silence mandatory, or am I merely speculating out of the human side of my brain? Caterpillar, caterpillar, please explain. Talk to me of empty corridors after heavy rain. Come in, let us consider joy and pain. How long have you ruled a trail of slime? You may find me in my room praying for rhyme. Every day I come down the estuary to look for you, or I stay home behind my great brick wall watching ants loaded down with cargo. There are times when I do nothing. On some occasions I ask the rain to explain itself. I try to enter a country buried in my brain. There are many impediments, like the pack of hyenas on the nearby street. When I am walking to find you, I play with definitions of longing and of love. The poets write of such matters. They also speak of the sea and of shadows. Some of them are vain. They congratulate themselves morning, noon, and night. Others are humble. They follow a child into the cold chambers of night. I take off my shoes and walk on the edge of the tidal basin. If I should find you, I'll find myself. If we never meet, I'm lost forever. The human animal. Those white flowers in the vase on the kitchen table cost only $3.99. One stem broke on the way home. I tossed it in the trash and felt the loss all night long. In the morning, I made espresso with perfect crema on top. I felt better about the accident and took my cup onto the redwood deck. Cold morning, but the reliable sun pulled up in a wood-paneled station wagon, as it had back in the late 1950s when I was an adolescent. Flowers, decades, strong caffeine, rhapsodic fault lines, ageless, of what it means to survive as an animal of countervoice and a convex brain. Dear Sir, this is not necessarily the kind of letter I am used to writing. It comes at the end of a difficult time. Listening is problematic. Defining love is possible, perhaps, but it takes a tremendous amount of energy. We would rather relax here on the frontier as Harvard graduates arrive by stagecoach in their comfortable clothing to sit down for a Mexican breakfast. I am not a follower of the current trends. My admiration extends to Crazy Horse alone, who slaughtered the arrogant sun god on the graceful hills. But there is nothing graceful about this letter. It is an American vein that I write. My interest is in fauna, not fame, in blue pieces of manifest destiny. My sights are set on crumbling images, such as you discover at a convenience store in Salt Lake City. We were in a hurry, and so we built tract homes on the asteroid belt. Perfect yards, perfect housewives. We manufactured boys and girls. I'm asking for a loan. We need to improve the drive leading to my house next door to the casino that promotes redemption. I request a brick wall. You must build me 3 terraces where I may walk and dictate documents to an assistant. I have relations who need help. There are lost souls to be rescued. What is it about you? Why the reluctance? I've been faithful to the dream. Never have I wavered. I could recite the Gettysburg Address. The dog says, hello. Our lovely cat licks her paws. Man is not made for words alone. Man must stand here in the primeval forest. Beautiful alphabets are born, like mushrooms after heavy rain. I have several crates of oranges to send you, as well as dates from our desert estate, picked by migrant workers in god-awful heat. I should have been a leather merchant, but it was not to be. I am a direct descendant of the brooding prince whose father fell on him bloodied and in need of retribution. In conclusion, dear sir, you must come to realize me and Huddy Ledbetter, known as Leadbelly, will tackle 12-string wildness in the exasperating heat. And that means I'll patiently meddle beyond endurance, claiming an aisle seat on continental trailways. No more indigent airplane ride to exotic cafeterias. I plan on reopening the world with elves and fairies and nasty little demons. Thank you in advance. I remain.
Thank you, Neely Cherkovski. Thank you.
I had one other. Was that 10 minutes?
It was 14.
14, shit. When I did it, it was 10 minutes. That's funny. All right, okay. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I hogged Mr. Oscar. If only to say, Jessica, this was my neighborhood from 74 to 83, and then I hitched the wagon to Bernal Heights, where I've been ever since, but this is where my heart is, and Harwood Alley, which became Bob Kaufman Alley. He was my roommate there a while, and back in 1940, My parents hung out at the Black Hat Cafe, which is almost a straight line down from here. And the last of those people died maybe 15, 20 years ago. It was a great early Bohemia. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Jessica.
Once again, thank you, Neely Cherkovsky. He is a San Francisco treasure and has published 35 books, I think, something like that. But anyhow, our next reader is Tureeda Mikell. Please welcome Tureeda. Do you want the chair?
No. Wow, that was, as always, you know, it's a feast of words to come around and listen. Scott? Yeah. Hi. And looking forward to the 28th. And Sarah, wow, that was amazing. Yeah, I'm going to try and keep it to the amount of time. I am working on a piece that may be performance. That some of these pieces have rhyme in it, but I will. It's dealing with my work as a phlebotomist for Cutter Lab. No way. Closer to the mic. Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. And this is based. I tend to use the refrain of "This Little Light of Mine." You know, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, I'm not gonna sing it, and I don't sing it in the poem, but I refrain it. You know, this little light of mine, because I believe the light we have tells us something at a certain time. So. This little light of mine. Little light shines from eternal veins vine of mystery. Issues verdict for me to leave without my consent. Working for C-Lab Bank, I withdraw blood for money. Corporate CEO, medical thugs, rotund makers of bare aspirin stop by to visit their living merchandise. Black, brown, white, Asian, poor, unemployed, and employed. Get just enough to eat, pay a bill, maybe, and buy some gas. It was $2 per gallon back then. Little Light feels sick working for Blood Biz. How can we find a better way? Answers were provided before we came, right? Licensed phlebotomist, 5 days a week, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., procedure tray in hand, donor to donor, cross-check names, numbers, blood collection bags, placed in centrifuge, separates blood from plasma, set up IVs, and restore red blood, prep another arm, another tourniquet, open alcohol wipe, swipe another choked vein, engorged, uncap another vampire spear, aim for more wealth in blood here. When Little Light shines so bright, it insists I take flight. Bars my hand from dining on another fluid gold mine. I can't move. I hear, leave. My fingers on lock. My C-Lab blood money blocked. My paycheck invisibly hocked. High noon, what am I supposed to do? Leave. Voice repeats. Donor asks, what's wrong? Because he needs his money too. Procedure at hand, I try to overrule invisibility of Little Light's demand, and again I'm stopped. Little Light of mine declares its right to shine whether I like it or not. Leave. I place needle on tray, untie tourniquet, and find another nurse to cover for me. I'm a 30-year-old plus single parent, without parents, without family or child support. Do I leave a job that houses and feeds me and my baby? Or did this little light of mine protest my involvement to shine with job that sells donors plasma bag for $989 so the donor could get 10? Did this little light of mine restrict my shine from exchanging donors' gold nutrient fluids for saline salt solution? Did little light of mine prevent me from enduring this nameless crime so it could defend how I am to shine? I choose my words carefully. Interpreting my innocence of metaphysical tenets persuading me to leave my job, I meet with the lab manager and tell him I cannot work as a phlebotomist, but I'll prep arms and take a cut in pay. He answers, we hired you for your license. If you cannot do the job, you can't stay. Light. Little light feels very bright. Then I hear a voice boldly say, I brought you this far. Do you think I'd let you starve? Little light spoke truth. Through loss of family, death threats, foster care, rape, Bell's palsy, it shined through. I left the lab, never looked back. 3 months later, hired as a lab tech in a psychiatric institution. Had to leave that too, but it's another view of this little light of mine, authored by a worker who needed that light to shine. When I looked at this, the harvesting of blood of America's poor now is the latest stage of capitalism, and that's from Mint Press. U.S. supplies 70% of the world's plasma, mainly because most other countries have banned the practice due to ethical and medical grounds. Cleveland generates more than a third of their income from donating blood. Plasma market has increased by 13%. So I just wanted to share that in reference to, there was some spirit, something that said, you can't do this anymore, you have to get out. And all I could think about was taking care of the family, taking care of my child, but just to acknowledge whatever power that was, because I'm here today and I'm very thankful that everything did work out. But I'm going to read this other piece. It may be a little interesting. Yeah. I had a friend that used to tell me, well, I guess he was a friend, but he he would say, I'll make you pee on yourself and like it. Yeah. So I thought about that, and there's anyway, I'll just read. Genocide rides nefarious designs. Clandestine saviors favor affliction. Sufferance pain endures analgesic conditions. Death, conquests, decline points of view. Why exist? And the overseer said this, to make you pee on yourself and like it. You'll own nothing and be happy, he said. Will collapse your synapse, need you living but dead. Shock cognitive relapse with convoluted views. Virtual reality denies visceral touch of skin tissue. Worship his worship against body's understanding. Bible's truth is law, faith, trust, is loyalty demanding. So you can pee on yourself and like it. Semantic roles control meanings. Date those in ambiguous authority. AI, sci-fi, entertain to blend reality's possible fatality for times in. Did the Nas save the natives from the pilgrims? No. Somebody's God manifest declares, suffer, little children, so you could pee on yourself and like it. Turn eyes from tent car homes. Folding streets tell children, Sky Chief said, suck it up unto thee. It's the renunciation of instinct born broken to social disease, the way of the world that can't plant flowers to grow a pearl seed. More than 70 billionaires in the Bay Area alone thinking about outer space as their new throne. Land of the free enterprise. Simon says, do die, laugh, or cry, 'cause if you're so poor you can't pay attention, you will pee on yourself and like it. So I was talking about the plasma market increasing 13%, but it's not as good as the adult diaper market that has increased by 900% between the ages of 40 and 60-year-olds. That's deep. That's deep. Okay, and this is also dealing with my stint as a nurse passing drugs, and it's called Chemically and Synthetically Speaking, and it's a devil's advocate rhyming poem. So it goes, chemically and synthetically speaking, for the ignorance of human sense and worth, for the great scientific medical forefathers who have condemned many families for and from the miracle of birth, we have mind, body, and souls altering drugs for your behind. Yes, we have medication, the mediation to ruin and numb every sense or symptom of your signs. You don't have to feel or interpret your senses that are due, because between us and the television commercials, baby, we're gonna show you what to do. And if your worries pile up and get stuck, we have MOM Milk Mag, Correctol, Ducalox, and X-Lax to relax your behind, because on us you can depend with the tens, and that's a name you can trust. And if it's sleep you seek, we have liquids, powders, and pills to literally make you chill, baby. Especially if life gets too cold to hold. Just give us the money, we'll take control. You don't have to be whole. I heard the stories those spiritual psychics say that your soul sends and receives with electrochemical impulses that sense with intuitive release. Don't be responsible for that, trust me. Trust me. If it's high stress, body pain, or sleep you lack, take some Nitol, Sominex, Melorel. Hell, take some crack. Drug addictions, we have drug treatment centers for that. Oh, say you have a pain in your head like two bulls running after red. Well, we make thousands of chemical medicines, most of which are pain relievers coming out every year. We have chemicals in brand name food. We even have it in your beer. BHA, BHT, aluminum ammonium sulfate, aluminum hydroxide monosodium glutamate, potassium, sodium, formaldehyde nitrates, and aspartame known as NutraSweet and butyl butyrate. True, most are not water soluble, even though 90% of you is. But look at it this way, baby, we're doctors and scientists. We're not here to find the causes. We're just here to relieve your symptoms so we can stay in your pocket with a steady rhythm. Oh, about that pain in your head. Could be from MSG or possibly even smog-related lead. But why don't you make an appointment so we have a look and see? Or why not take some Imprim codeine number 3? If you overdose, we'll just pump your stomach and take some tests. Yeah. So why make yourself responsible for understanding or knowing your pain when it's us, the doctors and scientists, who need your senses to grow insane? Because you know we're here to keep you and treat you in your hospital cells. Because as the great writer Milton said, we'd rather not serve in heaven, but rule in hell.
Anyhow, thank you, Tureeda Mikell. I like that last poem. If I ever need to hire someone to do a public service announcement, you'd be great. Anyhow, we're going to close out the evening with breakfast. Does anyone want some breakfast? This is my old friend Breakfast. I think he resides in the Mission, but he has done a lot of different things over the years as a performer and organizer. He plays many instruments, composes his own songs, etc., etc. And I thought that he would be perfect for the International Workers' First Friday theme. Please have some breakfast.
I don't need that. This good? Yeah. All right. Great. I'll turn it up. So hi everybody, my name's Breakfast. This is a song. It was written. It's a summer afternoon and the flowers all in bloom. Birds singing in the trees, crickets chirping in the weeds. Oh, and one more small detail. Breonna Taylor's killers aren't in jail. Why aren't Breonna Taylor's killers in jail? The sun is going down and the fields are golden brown. There's berries on the vine and a breeze is in the pines, but it's still one great big fail, because Breonna Taylor's killers aren't in jail. Why aren't Breonna Taylor's killers in jail? They had the wrong house in the wrong part of town, looking for a man they'd arrested earlier that day. They broke down the door with the battering ram, so her boyfriend shot an intruder in the leg. They fired 20 rounds and she died in the hall, and some of the bullets flew into another home, where one sailed right past a 5-year-old's face. Then they arrested the boyfriend for trying to kill a cop, and the police report was blank and listed her injuries as none. If you don't believe me, read the report, it's really short. Brett Hankerson, Jonathan Mattingly, Miles Cosgrove, these men are killers and they need to go to jail. Brett Hankerson, Jonathan Mattingly, Miles Cosgrove, her life matters, her killers need to go to jail. Don't take a law degree from Yale to know Breonna's killers need to be in jail. Why aren't Breonna Taylor's killers in jail? It's a clear and cloudless night, and the stars are shining bright. I'm looking at the sky, and I keep on wondering why, as I hear coyotes wail. Why aren't Breonna Taylor's killers in jail? Let's put Breonna Taylor's killers in jail. Thank you. So, in 2020, white moderates learned that police brutality is a thing and racism is still going on. So maybe the white moderates will save us. This song is called The White Moderate Reel, and for those who know anything about Irish music, yeah, I know this isn't a reel, maybe more like a jig, but I don't really care. So here it is, The White Moderate Reel. The water's drying up and there's sitting on my butt because I don't really care. There's nothing I can do and nothing I can say, so I'm trying to stay out of the way. Out of the way, staying out of the way. Out of the way every night and day. There's nothing I can do and nothing I can say, so I'm gonna stay out of the way. I don't see the point, no, I don't see the use. Nothing's gonna change, at least that's my excuse. And anyway, it always turns out okay for me, so I'll try to stay out of the way. Out of the way, staying out of the way. Out of the way every night and day. Nothing I can do and nothing I can say, so I'm gonna stay out of the way. But I'm not gonna fight. I hope the people win, but if we lose, well, alright. Tell you what I'll think, and then I'll pray. And I'll try to stay out of the way. Out of the way, staying out of the way. Out of the way every night and day. Nothing I can do and nothing I can say, so I'm gonna stay out of the way. Out on the sidelines and give you my advice. No matter what they do, I'll tell you to be nice. I'll keep a cooler head and I'll be above the fray. And I'll try to stay out of the way. Okay, all you white moderates out there, let me hear your voices. Or not, it totally doesn't matter. Out of the way, staying out of the way. Out of the way every night and day. There's nothing I can do and nothing I can say, so I'm gonna stay out of the way. Thank you. One more? All right, last tune here. This is a song that's called Needs. The Lord is my landlord. I shall not want what I can't afford. In 24 easy monthly installments. Well, I don't want whatever y'all selling me. Hell, I don't even need what I have. Nor do I have what I need. Every I needs a you, every we needs a they, everyone needs an other to explain oneself away. Every diner needs a dinner, every bar needs a boozer, every savior needs a sinner, every winner needs a loser. And we don't need to fake it anymore. Every word needs a speaker, every rider needs a horse, every crop needs a farmer, every river needs a source. Every cop needs a crook, every hunter needs game, every sailor in the musical South Pacific needs a dame. There is nothing you can name that is anything like a dame. Every Philip needs a Morris, every product needs a buyer, every ad needs a billboard, every truth needs a liar. Every killer needs a victim, every house needs a telly, every rich man needs 100 empty bellies. And we don't need to take it anymore. Yeah, every face needs a mirror, every cola needs fizz, every king needs a jester who can tell it like this. So every sheep needs a dog, every dog needs a bone, every bone needs a body, everybody must get stoned. Every carnival needs a barker, every city needs a mayor, everybody with a headache uses Tylenol or Bayer. Every son of a needs a bitch, every ass needs a hole, every mother needs a fucker, everything you say is bullshit. And I don't need to hear it anymore. Yeah, every kid needs a cat, every tit needs a tat, every ramen needs a noodle, every apple needs a strudel. And every Scot needs a skirt, every jerk needs a friend, every train needs a station, every song needs an end. Amen. Thank you, I'm Breakfast. By the way, next month I'll be doing a variety show at Radio Habana Social Club in the Mission on June 18th. There'll be a lot of performers of music and spoken word, so come on out. And happy First Friday. Thank you, Jessica.
Once again, I hope you enjoyed breakfast.
Thank you.
Bravo for the breakfast. What does the sausage need? What does the egg need? I don't know. Let's not go there. But anyhow, once again, thank you everyone who performed this evening. It's a pleasure having you all here. It's a pleasure to also have a great audience here. Even the heckling audience across the street a little earlier. Thank you everyone once again for coming, and this series has been amazing for a year and a half. We always have terrific people out here to listen that really support the series. So once again, happy First Friday, and we will see you next month.